I feel the cool breeze, it's such a lovely tease.
Hey everybody, welcome to our Posca paint party. And today we're doing something really kind of unique and cool and exotic. Drew is going to be taking you through his process of creating a Bali mask. Looks kind of intimidating, but I think you're gonna have fun with this. And I was trying to think of how do we talk about what a Bali mask is. Why don't you hold that up? What a Bali mask is. And so I looked it up on the internet, and this is what Google says. Google says, oh, of course I grabbed the wrong piece of paper. Well, Google says something like this. I'm going to go off on my memory here. That a Bali mask is something that the Balinese traditionally use to house certain spirits. I don't know, it's something kind of spiritual, but what's cool about it is artists, tattoo artists, and creative people have done so many neat things with Bali masks.
Yes, and so for me, you know, I've been to Indonesia many times surfing, and any surfer or guest in Indonesia, and Bali in particular, is just overwhelmed with the amount of art, statues, and artisans that are there. And the Bali masks are definitely prevalent. They're all over the place. There's all kinds of shows and things that they do with these Bali masks, depicting different characters. They're super colorful and they're super fun to draw. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And I'm really excited to have some fun with this.
And of course, like we always do, we are going to give away 1 box of Posca paint pens thanks to our friends at Posca. Last week's winner was John Schwantes, and John, your paint pens are shipping out tomorrow, actually.
John's stoked. He's winning all kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm going to go back in the control room, and you proceed.
All right, everybody. I'm not sure how many folks we have on today, but I hope everybody is excited. You know, I was inspired to do this today because I'm working on a giant painting for a client of a Bali mask. And this is the actual sketch for it, which I put on our Instagram and all that. And it's a Bali mask with a wave in its mouth. And I just think it's really neat, the process in which I make this symmetrical and make sure that everything works out. And that's really what I'm going to be sharing with you today, is the process of creating that character and then being able to easily get it symmetrical and break it down so that you can paint it. So if we can go ahead and flip to the overhead. Let's see, get my trusty glasses so I can see everything.
And I will do that in 1 second.
All right. I'm getting all my papers ready. So this is a good time. You know, I try to put this out on Instagram ahead of time. Some of the things you might need today is going to be a straight edge, something you can make circles with. I have this like circle maker that works really good for me. A compass could work for circles, or you could literally just use the bottom of a glass, something like this, that would work as well. And I have one started here. I'm going to show you some ideas. If you want, you could look on the internet for some good Bali masks. And what you can see once you start looking at them is there's lots of different ones. Each artist does his own thing, and they're depicting all these different characters. I don't know all their names, but some have green faces. One of them's the Hanuman, the white monkey. Shout out to all my friends in Bali at White Monkey Surf Shop. Ed, if you're on, please chime in and say hi to us. I'd love to come over there and surf as soon as it opens back up. But you can see how ornate it is all around these faces. And the big thing with the masks is they all have very big eyes. And that just makes it really fun. And then they have sharp teeth usually and these like tusk looking things. Here's one here that is a statue. And you know, when you get over there, these statues are all over the place. And some are huge. Here's another statue photo, more pictures. This is really cool. This is just kind of to show you guys all the ideas. But don't worry about making it look just like a Bali mask. For the first exercise, we're just going to have fun with it, and I'm going to show you how to do it. All right. So just like always, I will be sketching with a pen so that you guys can see. And I don't know if you can see this, but I got this started so that it makes it a little easier to start thinking about. But what you're going to do if you're drawing on paper or canvas, the first thing you're going to do is find the center of your canvas or paper. You don't have to find the center. You could actually just draw a line to kind of set this up. And this is going to set up each side, because we're going to worry about one side and then we're going to duplicate that side. So for me, this was 11 by 14 canvas. So I got like 5.5. And so I'm going to draw this line. Right? And so everybody can see that. So that's where you're going to start to help build your symmetrical painting. And then from there, you don't want to get an exact center. This would be 7. So I'm going to go up an inch at 8. And there again, if you know, we're not all working on the same size stuff. So basically just what you want to get is, you know, a cross in the middle so that we can line this all up. And you're doing this with pencil, obviously, so you can erase, and I'm going to have to paint over these lines. Now, from there, we want to make sure that the eyes are the focus point. So what I do with that is I'll find how far apart I want them. And right here, I've chosen 1.1 1.5. So 1.5. So I'm going to mark that line, and then I'm going to mark it here too. And that's pretty much it for a ruler. Okay, so if you can see, I marked these like little lines right here, and that's where the center of the eyes are going to be. I'm going to hold it up so everybody can kind of see. And so you can see my faint pencil line here that I already did to get prepped for the show today. But what we're going to do from there is start drawing these circles. Now, if you have a compass, that's great. That's going to be the easiest way to do this. If you have something with circles in it, you're going to have to make sure you get it in the center. But it's easier to do the outside circle first. So if you have you can do this lightly with a pencil too. So you don't necessarily have to get a perfect circle, but I'm going to do it with this circle maker. So I think I used.
How hard is it to freehand it?
To freehand, it's pretty easy. Especially if you're sketching. So if you're sketching with a pencil, it's pretty easy to get a circle. The main thing is I'm going to show you is I'm going to do an outside circle. All right, so I'll just do the outside circle first, and then make sure I get this outside circle measured the same here. And then that way we have the eyes set.
And so another tool that you could use would be like a small glass or something, just a round object.
Yeah.
Like a bottle or a jar of something.
Coins work really good too. But you want to do the outer ones first, because then you can line up, make sure that the insides are done. So I'm going to do it freehand now. So I'm going to just try to do circles within circles to set up the eyes. Because if you can see on these Bali masks, you see how their eyes are like circles within circles. Why don't you show the Bali mask that you have, honey?
Okay.
So you can show that on the screen while I draw the next circle.
Okay.
So there we go. So you can see that you know, you got circles within circles, and that is allowing to get that real like crazy eye. And then so here I'm going to do 4 circles, with the inner circle being the black, you know, part of the pupil. Now, you're going to have to do this on both sides.
So Camille Green said, this is going to be so cool. So stoked you're doing Bali type masks. Spent an amazing 4 months in Bali years ago.
So she knows.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, I want to go through this pretty fast. So you can see that I have the circles within circles, right? And like I said, just try to do this lightly with pencil. So this is your map. That's all we're building. So you guys know from doing classes before that everything's about building the map. So I'm going to do this over here, and I'm trying to get a nice even circle. Do another one. So don't worry about it being perfect. If you get it a little out of center, you can fix it maybe later. But this is just kind of setting up your whole drawing, because the eyes are what are so cool about these things. So now I'm even putting this little half circle in here, and that's going to be the light shining onto the eye. All right, so see, this is the first step. Make the cross and then make the circles for the eyes. Now from there, I'm not worried about this side. I'm just going to worry about this side. And it really doesn't matter how you do this. If any of you remember or took any of the Tiki classes, I show how you can just, whatever you do, you just do this idea here, and then we're going to go and mimic it on the other side. So the first thing I see is I'm going to do like a half circle here and half circle here. This is kind of like the nose, and I'm excited to see how mine turns out, because I have no idea what it's going to look like when it's done. So I lightly put these pencil lines in, but if you look at a reference, even if you look at my reference that I gave to us, which is this guide, you could copy this one, but remember, just worry about one side, right? So it's going to look something like this when you're drawing. And so I'm going to do the nose. And it doesn't have to look like mine. I mean, it can be just kind of like whatever shape you want. So I'm going to look around the eyes of these different ones, and I like these kind of like, I'm going to do a thing around the eyes like this. And I'm already thinking I'm going to make my guy green, because I like the green one, or maybe red, I don't know. But you can see how I'm doing this, just kind of playing with it. And I'm going to like do this line for the mouth. Now I want to make mine kind of smiling, even though it's got like a sinister teeth. That line right there kind of sets it up as like a smile. And you can see that point right there is like going up to make it smile. So if you're smiling, you usually have high cheekbones. So I got this high cheekbone here. And this is very similar to like drawing tikis. You know, the Bali mask is almost like the tiki of Indonesia. So I got that going. I'm going to do the teeth. And I like to put that tooth right there on the line, because that's going to be the split. And then do another tooth. And then I'm going to do this sharp one. I like the sharp teeth. And then watch this on the teeth. I'm going to do these like little gum lines. So I'm like putting a little thing like that so they can see the gums. And then I'm going to make this lip line a little thinner. So you can see I'm just kind of feeling it around. And I'm actually kind of not even going off the original sketch that I had pre-prepared. I'm kind of changing it a little bit. And then a lot of times these masks have their tongue sticking out. So this is a tongue, but it's only half the tongue. So it goes something like that. And now this is a tusk. So I don't know why they always have tusks. I should look that up. But a lot of them do. And so I'm going to make mine a curly Q tusk, like it's bending in on itself. A lot of these masks are like heavily stylized with design, so that they have a lot of curly Qs and flowers and things on them, which makes them very unique. So whatever you like, you can add that to yours. So this is the bottom of his lip here. And a lot of them also have like whiskers. So I'm going to do some stylized whiskers that are kind of similar to this tongue looking thing. All right. And you can make your whiskers like little short things or whatever. I'm going to make this like a whisker kind of splitting right there. All right. How's it looking? Looking all right? Kind of, whoa, it looks pretty good on the camera. All right. So here I'm going to do up top, I'm going to do like a little eyebrow. So it looks like he's like raising his eyebrows. So this is like kind of like a little thing, maybe another one. Something like that. And then I'm going to add some whiskers on his cheek because I noticed on some of the other reference material there's whiskers. Wow, that's kind of cool. All right. So hopefully I'm not going too fast and you guys will be able to catch up. I'm going to draw this ear right here. And they have these like really cool, like elongated ears on them. Sometimes they have like animal ears, like bat looking ears. But it's just preference. Highly stylized there again, just with these, you know, cool little ideas. All right.
If anybody has any questions, please ask in the chat. And I want to say, Camille said that she's using a plastic 35 millimeter film can,
Perfect.
a jar top, and a quarter to make the circles.
Good. And, you know, it does help to get them more perfect, but there again, you don't have to. You can freestyle it. So now I'm going to do the main, like on this sketch here, I have them as leaves. Over here, they have them as like all kind of like ornate fixtures. You can do whatever you want. It's mainly to have kind of like that mandala effect shooting out off the top of it, almost like a crown or a corona. So I'm going to do like these cool looking feathers. And I'm going to start out with just half a feather out of the center, something like that. And then I'm going to do another feather. Maybe I'll draw a line to separate it, kind of a line of action. Sound effects there again. Something like that. Let's do another line of action, another feather. And this can be more free-flowing kind of line of action. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way so you guys can see. Line of action again. Another feather. Let's put a little feather here. A little feather here. A little feather here. All right, so now we have the whole like corona set up. And you know, you can see these other ones are just full of layers of corona. So you could do like multiple layers of this. So you can almost, if I had more space, I could do like 5 layers of feathers in different shapes. And kind of like we do the mandalas where you just keep adding different shapes and textures. So I'm going to do like a little thing back here, like a different shape. Kind of like that, just to kind of add, you know, some more dimension to it. I think that's good. All right, so now the magic part of it, if you're working on paper, you could do something like this where you fold it and then trace it out from the other side. Lay it on a piece of glass with a light behind it and trace it out. That would be pretty easy to do, but it's just as easy if you're doing this on canvas to eyeball it. So don't worry about the whole thing at once. We just do it just the exact same way we built this one, except for you just do it by watching with intent. So you just want to copy each shape. So this shape is kind of like that. I'm going to worry about this shape. I want to make that little oval here, just something like that. And with a pencil, it's a lot easier because you're really just kind of feeling it out. And so you'll see that I'm kind of feeling it out with my shapes too. If it helps, you could, you know, get a pencil like this and measure from the edge. I want to see how far that nostril goes over, and I can just move it over and I can mark that. And so I know that this nostril kind of goes out all the way to here. and that'll help you make sure it doesn't get too out of balance. You could actually you could measure if you wanted exactly, but that might be a little slow. Sometimes I just use a pencil and do it a little bit faster. So I can measure where I want that mouth like this. We're going, just slide it over. So now I know that this is kind of up towards that, kind of like that. Did you see how I measured it and just then moved it over? So the whole thing's kind of done like that. I'm going to do these little eyeball guys. We'll keep going around. Kind of looks like a frog. Please feel free to ask questions while we're doing this process so I don't miss anybody who's having trouble.
Yeah, if you want him to slow down on something or show you something, once again, just type it in the chat and we will do that.
Okay, so I'm going to measure this cheekbone just so I know exactly how far out it goes. Look at that. So it's coming along. See how I'm copying it pretty well. I think I can do these teeth pretty good without measuring. And you're not looking for perfection, you're just looking for symmetry. You know, like how they say your face is not totally symmetrical, and if it was, you'd look really weird. It's kind of the same thing. So I know this tooth ends up here, so it has like kind of a look like that. Yeah, let's measure this. And I started doing this with surfboards, measuring off the stringer. And that really allowed me to get a semi-symmetrical design without it looking too computer-like. I notice if you flip it directly and get it too perfect, it looks like a computer did it, and sometimes it loses some of its coolness. People don't appreciate it as much. It doesn't have the same type of character to it. All right, I'm going to measure this tooth or tusk. Oh, that thing's way out there. Okay, let's measure it here. And you can see how I just move it straight over so I know exactly what that is, what it's supposed to look like. So I think this tooth is supposed to be a little bit bigger and further out than this one. We'll measure that. All right, he's looking good. Everybody see that? We hadn't even started painting yet.
Camille said one technique she learned, if you have trouble getting perspective into your drawing, flip it upside down and go from there. Great little balancing trick.
Yeah, that's true. So like if you're having trouble, there's something about taking away the familiarity and you flip it upside down, and then you're just trying to match shapes. If you like, so what she's kind of talking about is doing this, and then you're just trying to copy that shape of that one feather and off that line, and it's pretty easy. It does make it a little easier. But so you can see, I'll do it right side up. All right, so this line, oh, let's do these tops of these guys. All right, and then that line of action there. I love the sound effects. When I was in Bali, it made me want to be a sculptor because all these like rad, like sculpted Bali masks. So you can see this feathers. I'm not really trying to get these too symmetrical. I'm just trying to get that flow right. And there again, it's kind of like you don't want it too symmetrical. Or I shouldn't say, so you want it symmetrical, you just don't want it too like overly perfect. All right, this is going into that. This. On paper, it's very easy just to fold it over and trace it out. But if you're going to do it on canvas, it's not so easy. If you were doing this for a project where it needed to be, you know, in the right spaces, and like sometimes like my other one, you could use a projector, which that's what I did on my other one, because it needed to be in a very specific size and on the right proportions towards the edges and all these types of things, because it was going to be made into things.
Karina asked if you could slow down just a little bit.
And slow down just a little bit. Okay.
Slow down. Well, I said just a little bit. She said, slow down, please.
All right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, you know, what your speed is. The process is really what I want everyone to get familiar with. See, I'm not trying to do it all at once. I'm just going around and filling it in from this line over. And it allows me to get a pretty good symmetrical design that allows me to get my idea out without stressing on it being totally perfect. It just gets good enough. All right, so I got a couple. I think my ear goes in a little bit more there. All right. I'm trying to go slow, but for the sake of the class, I think I need to keep moving. Because this is just the exercise showing you how to design your concept. So I got mine written on there, and it looks pretty good, and it's definitely good enough to paint. And this, there again, even though I did it in Posca, is my sketch. This is just your map. You can change things on your map anytime you want. You can erase, you can decide that, oh, it's not quite right. With me doing it with Posca, it's not as easy to do that. So I'm gonna dress mine up. And this is kind of the fun part. You know, this is kind of like a basic idea, but now I'm gonna like think of like, well, what do I want my Bali mask to look like? And this kind of goes into the other lessons of getting into your own style and fantasies and stuff. So you could put flowers, or you could, you know, do some kind of rainbows, or I'm going to do eyeballs. So I'm going to do an eyeball on his tongue. Like, how weird would that be if you had an eyeball on your tongue? And then since that is there, I'm going to do an eyeball up here in the feather. And I might as well put eyeballs on all my feathers. And maybe they're not real eyeballs. Maybe they're kind of like, you know, those peacock feathers that look like they have eyes on them. But that's kind of like that mandala effect of, you know, whatever you do on one, you do on all. So if you did a flower or a shape on one, you might be able to do that on all of them and get a really cool, you know, effect. There we go. And now I'm going to do diamonds around it. So, and this is the same as like kind of that mandala. So if I do it to one like that, if you can see it, I'm going to do it to all of them. And this is just kind of putting your own personality on it. And there again, even if you did totally different shapes and stuff, you could even have made these, you know, more hard edges, and it doesn't matter. It's just the idea of creating this fun mask shape and then going all the way through the process of painting it and you're going to come out with an amazing mask. I saw so many artisans working on these masks in these workshops. And by the way, they're usually carved and then painted. So it is just extraordinary to see the whole process. All right, how's that going? So I know many of you are still working on your sketch. At least now you know the process of how to build that sketch. I'm going to start painting so that we can move forward. And I'm
There's a question from Deborah, if we can just put this in here.
Sure.
She wanted to know, is it okay to kind of mirror as you go on both sides, at least at beginning center, eyes, nose, etc.?
Absolutely. Yeah. So for just effect value, I just kind of worried about creating the design half, but you definitely could go like, okay, I'm gonna do this part of the nose. I'll do that part of the nose on that side. You could do that for sure. There's no like set way of having to do it, but just so that you know that you're not worried about the whole thing at once. You're breaking it down into just little components and then duplicating it. And that's the way I saw them doing it in Bali, especially with the carving. They would start out with these like really rough lines, and they would start with the eyes and then build it out. And it just takes the thinking out of it. Whereas if you were starting from scratch and let's see, I got this sketch over here. I don't know if everybody can see that, but this is just a rough sketch without any design element to it. You get lost really quick. But this was like a thumbnail sketch for the way I wanted to build the mouth of my last one. But the answer is absolutely. You could just go like half, this line, one by one, and then still come up with the same effect. Good question. All right, so I'm going to start, and just like always, I pick colors that I want to do. This mask right here is my favorite one. It's in green, but I think I'm going to do my mask in red. And so that means anywhere where there's flesh, I'll probably do red. And then, shoot, his gums will have to be red. So maybe I'll mix it up a little bit. Now let's do green, changing it in my mind again. All right, so I'm going to do green so I can make this all red. So mine's going to be similar color style to this guy right here. And it's important that you think about those things. Like when I thought about the gums and the tongue being red, then everything was going to be red and there wouldn't be any contrast. So I'm going to stick to the greens. And so I'm going to start with this spot right up here and work my way down and just do the little blend. Darkest color first. There we go. And see, now that everything's mapped out, you know that you can paint this because we just worry about one little section at a time. This whole painting process that I do with the Poscas takes all the thinking out of it. And so I'm just blending half in, half out. I might have a little trouble covering up this blue line, but hopefully not. And then, so I got a little yellow in there. So I'm going to do this all over his face. And most of the time when I'm working on these projects, I'm listening to music and I just work on one little spot at a time. I don't do all the dark green everywhere. I just do one section. And this makes it very methodical and less intimidating. If you're worried about everything at once, you'd be like, oh my gosh, then the paint would dry, it wouldn't blend.
I was thinking we might want to do another blending session, another blending theme, because so many people would benefit from that. And if any of you think that's a good idea, just leave a comment in the chat so we get a feel for if people are interested in it.
Yeah. And so you guys can see, like, I can already tell on this that there's some lines that aren't meeting up perfectly for mine. So this sketch that you did is just the map. So I can fix that when I'm painting it as I notice it. And so I'm not doing this perfectly to these lines and trying to get it. I'm still feeling my way out and making sure that the design is what I want. And so it's just the map. Don't feel married to your map. If you want to change something along the way, it's totally okay. And that freedom and spontaneousness is
Spontaneity.
yeah, spontaneity. I couldn't get that word right. Thank you.
So a lot of people are leaving comments saying, yes, Cato said, would love a blending session. Shelly agrees. That would be a great idea. Mickey said, yes, blending on different mediums. Deborah said, ditto. Jim said he can never get enough of your blending technique. Heather said, yes, 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 blending party. Okay, so a lot more people are saying yes, yes, yes. I think we should do that next week.
All right, let's do a blending party next week.
All right, you all win. We're doing it next week. And we have a couple people that raised their hands, Dubs and Andina. They want to share. So is it okay if we hop over there? We're at 4 minutes. We're at 36 minutes past the hour.
Absolutely.
Time to share. And if anybody else wants to share, either hit the raise hand button or put it in the chat and I will spotlight you. Oh, and Mike Larocco said also a little color theory, and I think that's a good idea too. Okay, so here's the order we're going to go in. We're going to go to Dubs, then we're going to go to Andina, then we're going to go to Santino, and then Heather. And then we'll come back to Drew. Yeah.
Real quick, Maria, let me address some of those thoughts. Like the color theory, is kind of like going into why I chose not to do the red, because I knew I was going to have red down here and I wanted it to pop. So, you want to think about those things of how you're going to break up those colors. So color theory is always playing into my thought process. And in the blending, like right now, you can see I'm only worried about these 3 colors. And I'm going to do all this green, and I'm doing the same thing each time. I'm just figuring out where I want the dark to be, and then do the light. So let me just show you real quick before we go to people. I'm going to do dark right here, and I want to put dark around this nose area because I want the nose to pop. And all I'm doing with the next color is half in and half out. So let me make sure I can. And that stroke line too is real important. So I pull it up so it goes with that curve of the cheek. And then when I go to the yellow, I do that same process of half in and half out. And that is at the whole basis of the blending process, is not to get too far ahead of yourself, work in small areas and be consistent. And just by working with 3 colors, sometimes 4 if you get really good at it, you can get these really nice blends. And so we'll do a whole class on that next week, and we'll hopefully help some people out. All right, let's go see some people.
So now we're going to go to Dubs, then Andina, then Santino. And when we go to you, please have your art ready to show. Dubs, we're coming to you right now. I'm going to spotlight you. What's up, buddy?
Hey!
Good
Hey,
to
Dubs.
see you.
What's up? Don't
Wow, you got a
judge
board
me on
going.
this. Don't
Whoa.
judge me on this.
Whoa, that looks good,
Oh,
Dubs.
This entire session, I got it done in this like 20 minutes.
You're killing it.
That's
Yeah.
I like how you have the tongue looks amazing, the corona. I like how you have it going off the top of the board. Man.
Yeah.
It really good.
This is the board. Yeah, this is the board that I'm starting. So.
Dubs,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a little Chris Dyer color too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
That's what it reminds me of.
Totally.
Yeah, anybody that doesn't know Chris's art needs to look it up. It's awesome.
Yeah.
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 Right on, Dubs. You're well on your way.
Thanks, Dubs. We're going to hop over to Andina now. Andina.
Hey, Andina, all the way in Argentina.
Hi. I have been doing this.
Oh, wow. Look at that. You have them coming out of the sun. That is good.
No, that's the mask.
Yeah, the mask
And
coming.
there's the surfer going to the mouth.
Yeah,
What a great
I love
Then-
it.
creative idea.
And I did this.
I love the little cutouts.
Very good.
And now I'm doing this one.
Ah, I love pets.
That's great. Thanks,
Good job,
Anne.
Angina. It's nice to see you.
All right, now we're gonna hop over and say hi to Santino. Santino,
Hey, Santino.
Hi,
good to see you.
this is, oh, I don't know if you can see, but
Are you working on the Bali mask?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm working on a body mask there. I'm making it brown. I don't know
Yeah,
what happened there. The Posca just spilled down
yeah, it
when I
happens.
was doing the line. But I'm gonna make like brown here, and I make kind of like a more goofy face.
Mm-hmm. So, did that process of explaining how to knock out that symmetry help out?
Yeah, I didn't use any rulers or anything, just for the beginning.
Oh, good. Well, I can't wait to see it going.
Awesome.
I'll
Thanks,
share it.
Santino.
Bye.
Okay, now we're gonna hop over to Heather.
Hi.
There you are.
Hey,
Hi.
Heather. Hey.
We would like to show this.
Yeah, look at that. Crazy.
Wow, that's amazing.
So you,
Good
you
job.
are you having fun?
Yeah.
All right.
Cute.
We'll keep working on it.
Okay.
All right.
You've made a lot of progress. That's excellent.
Well, I like seeing how free everybody's being with it and just going for it. I want to share, like right now, I added a little brown underneath this nose to make my dark green a little darker. So if you need a little darker color to make something pop, you can add that and make it a more dynamic blend. So for all you folks that are having a hard time blending, that's how I add these like little darker sections.
So we're going to go to Evan the artist in just a minute. But before we do, you know what? I just want to say I really appreciate everybody leaving nice comments for all the artists that are on here. You know, it's just really nice to see how you all encourage each other and get excited for each other. And also I want to read something Camille said. She said, I'm using 3 different shades of grayscale Prisma pens, and they're great for shading and rendering practice. And the mask couldn't be a better template for playing around with. Thanks. So
Yeah.
cool. And then let's see. All right, we're going to go to Evan. Evan, if you are ready, we're going to spotlight you right now. What's up?
There he is. What's up, Evan?
Good to see you.
Let's see what you're working on.
So this is what I'm working on.
Oh, that looks so good, Evan.
That is amazing. I'm blown away by how fast everybody's catching on.
And
Yeah.
my friend is also here.
Yeah. Let's see. How's yours
See what your
coming?
friend did. Hi, friend.
Hey. Oh,
Hi.
that looks good too.
Oh,
I
wow.
love the headdress, all colors.
Yeah.
You guys got to post those when you're finished.
Yeah, and tag Brophy Art Academy on your Instagram post, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Good
thank
job.
you.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. If anybody else wants to share, please raise your hand. Or, oh yeah, here we go. Shaka's hand is up. Can we go over to Shaka real quick, Drew?
Yeah. Let's.
Okay.
Hi.
There we go.
Hey. All right. So you got half, and now you're tracing the other half.
Yes.
Yeah. You excited to paint?
Yes.
All right. Well, you be sure to show it to us when you're all ready to paint.
Okay.
All right.
Good job.
Good job. I like how, this is not it's not hard, but it's not easy your first time. Everybody's doing great. If I had to, somebody told me I had to paint this or draw this at some of people's age, I'd have been like, oh man, this is gonna be super hard. Everybody's doing a great job.
Well, I think that's what's so great about doing these exercises every single week. And if any of you agree, just type it in the chat. But I think just doing a different exercise every week and just learning how to do something new and getting fresh ideas really makes a huge difference. And I think you all, those of you who are here week after week, you're kind of learning to just go for it. And I think you're getting results from that.
Yeah. And some of these things, we should have like a few hours to work on these things. My goal is just to get you started and, get you inspired and then hopefully point you in the right direction. And then you guys can finish these at your own pace and make them your own.
And we're gonna let a couple more people share in a minute. I think we'll go to Katie next, and then if anyone else wants to share, oh yeah, we have a couple other people, Steve. So we'll get to that in just a couple minutes.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you can see I'm just moving around with this green and just slowly filling it in, and it starts to come together pretty quick. And try to stay pretty methodical. Don't get ahead of yourself and start painting all over the place. Just go around it and try to, knock out each little section and be patient. And it actually, when you're patient and you get into the groove, you start hitting these consistent marks. And you'll notice your piece is getting better when you have a formula or method to complete. And that's really what I'm trying to teach you. Because this is how I've learned to tackle big projects without it being too overwhelming. And
CJ said, yes, these paint parties have been great for inspiration and new ideas, as well as learning technical ways to put ideas onto any type of canvas.
yeah, CJ.
And Carrie said, I very much appreciate these weekly paint parties. It's hard for me to take the time for myself to make art, and having these scheduled encourages me to set time aside. And that reminds me of something I wanted to mention. Even though we say, yeah, it's only an hour to do something that seems maybe a little complicated, I truly believe that you can get things done in a shorter amount of time if you have a shorter amount of time where you have to get it done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. I work really good under pressure. It looks like Evan the artist works good under pressure. He knocks things out. He's not scared.
Yeah. And then Kimberly said, I love learning a different technique, and then I spend the rest of the week coming back to it. Your encouragement to just have fun makes me feel great and sure. I love the story that develops on canvas. That's really good feedback.
Thank you.
And Deborah said it's freeing, cathartic, inspiring, and memory comes back into the hands with the exercise and all the positive vibes. Thanks all.
I just think it's really neat that we've built a community together, and seeing everyone's really nice. And I look forward to getting to know more of you as you share. We really get to know you when you share. So, that's always a plus. So don't be shy to show your work, or just say hi. Or you can see I'm just going around, and I'm almost done with all my green. And I just got the eyes to do. And this is really going to pop it right here, this last little bit of green, because it's going to showcase the eyes more. And I'm careful not to drag my hand through the paint. I rest my elbow, and my arm is floating above. If you feel like you can't do that, some people lay a piece of wood down that their wrist can lay on. I don't really need it. I like my wrist being able to flow free.
Deborah wrote, I used to stress about the pressure and learned it was part of my process, and that makes you let go.
Yeah.
And then Hugo said, I am a total beginner, and the truth is, I thank you with all my heart for these meetings.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, I wish I would have had something like this as a kid. You know, we didn't really. I think I did look at Bob Ross a couple times, but I never had paints. You know, I never had like brushes and things to paint with. It seems like all I had were like crayons and broken colored pencils. But I made it work.
So we're down to the 10 minutes to go, Mark, and we have 3 people that want to share right now.
Perfect.
So we're going to go in this order. We're going to go to Katie, then Steve, then Lotus. So what I'm going to do is ask you to unmute before I spotlight you. We're going to go to Katie right now, and please have your art ready, everyone, when we pop over to you. Hi.
There we go. What's up, girls? Oh, those are great. Those are so good.
I'm here for fun.
Right on.
That's awesome.
And so where are you girls joining us from?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Hey, that's
Baltimore.
where I grew up.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, we were just back there. Like Drew and I were just back there because I still have family there. We were visiting my mom. She's actually in Berlin right now, Berlin, Maryland.
Okay, yeah, we're in Towson.
Yeah, I caught waves in Ocean City. They were really good.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Times out there. Yeah.
right on. Well,
Cool.
good job on your mask. I can't wait to see him done.
Yeah.
Be sure to finish them. All right.
Thanks.
See ya. That
Okay,
is
now
nice.
we're going to go to, whoops, sorry. We're going to go to Steve. And there
Oh, look at that. Steve's got hands in front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like kind of poking into the eyeballs.
Yeah. That is
Wow.
cool.
I love the hands.
Yeah, they're not totally perfect, but it's just a sketch, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked on it.
It looks good, man.
Thanks.
I'm really anxious to see how different everybody's come out, and you know, see how, you know, I can just see you just melting all night on that and just doing all kind of crazy stuff to it. So
Right.
right on. Thanks for
Cool,
sharing,
thanks.
bro. That was
Okay.
great.
We're going to Lotus now. Hi, Lotus.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
How's it going out?
Good, good. I agree with everybody 100%. I love these classes and I'm growing so much.
Yay.
yeah,
glad
so
to hear
For
that.
my work.
That looks great.
Cool.
Wow, that's amazing. How big is that canvas? What is that, like a 15 by 15 or something?
12 by
Yeah.
12.
Okay.
12 by 12. And where are you joining us from?
Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Oh, right on.
Another East Coaster.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
like that we get people from all over the country. It's cool.
Well, we have people on here from literally all over the world, which is really,
I know, it's amazing. What
Yeah.
you guys are great.
Thank
so
you.
cool. Well, thank
Yeah.
you. All right, now
Thank you.
we're gonna go say hi to Karina. Karina, are you ready? Hi.
Karina's ready.
Hi.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. You got some crazy eyes on there. You got
That's
the tongue.
so
the cups,
good.
and you're getting the color on there. You going to work on that all night?
Well, I mean, I go to sleep like around 9, so I'm not going to finish it today.
Yeah, I probably won't finish mine today either, but I'm going to try my best to get a lot done.
Definitely.
All right.
Thank you.
Post it when it's finished.
That's awesome. I'm blown away by how everybody's made so much progress.
Yeah. I think everybody made more progress than me, as always.
As always.
So let's cut to my view real quick. You'll see how far I've gotten. I'm on the last eye, little eyebrow.
And if anybody wants to see each other, follow each other on Instagram, if you want to share your Instagram handle in the chat, please do. Katie shared hers, and I'll share mine and Drew's. But yeah, just, you know, I want to encourage everybody to follow each other.
Yeah, and I'm going to be working on my big Bali mask this week. So if you're interested in seeing, you know, the really big one come out, I'll probably do some pictures and some time lapses of it. And you can see it on my Instagram in the video. I kind of point to it in the background. And so it's gonna take a little while. Doing this little one's good practice for me. And let's see, I'm almost done, and then I will call it a day on this one and maybe finish it time lapse. I keep threatening to do that, but we've had a lot going on here. This week I've been doing pinup girls on surfboards, so that was a busy project. But this week is all Bali masks. All right, this is good. You can see I'm almost done with the green. How we doing on time, honey?
We have 4 minutes, but you know, not like we totally stick to it, but
Yeah.
if we're going to stick to it. We are done in 4 minutes. So we'll wrap it up.
And I'd like to say thanks again to my friends in Bali at White Monkey Surf Shop. You know, they've been shut down and no tourists have been allowed to come in, similar to like Hawaii. And their whole businesses are based off of tourism. So let's just hope that they get opened back up so that they can all get back to, you know, providing for their families. And I hope I can get back there and go surfing. And if you ever have the opportunity, it's a wonderful place to go. It's like going to Hawaii or something. Super different. Just, all right. So there's mine. I'll do a whole coming together. But you can see how that shading comes in really, really good. Those little darker areas. As you get better at blending, you'll want to darken some areas up and then lighten some areas up. That's when you'll get into a more complex blend. Like I added my brown, I could go all the way to white. So then you have a 5-color blend. But for most of you right now, just stick with 3. If you're feeling ambitious, add 1. If you get it wired, add the other one. So that's coming along pretty good. And I think Maria's getting ready to come over here and pull the plug on me. I can hear her coming.
I'm coming. Here I come.
All right, give my last little thing.
I'm like the wizard behind the curtain back there.
Yeah, let's all thank Maria for doing all the technical stuff. And
yeah, sometimes it all works. Like, I don't think we've really ran into any problems today, but.
and what's interesting is, you know, we started doing these Zoom paint parties, you know, what, March?
March 20th was our first one.
Yeah, before the whole Zoom thing took off. So I feel like we have a little bit of a head start on everybody and we know what we're doing.
We're always ahead of the curve.
And maybe we'll get to the point we'll do longer ones and more specific. But for now, we'll just keep doing the Wednesday paint parties, and hopefully we get more and more people and get more people painting. Tell your friends. And
yeah, we'd love to get more people on here. So please tell your friends. And I know some of you have been, and we've really appreciated it. Also, I wanted to let you know, if you need any Posca supplies, go to BrophyArtAcademy.com and get your supplies there. I actually personally pack the boxes myself these days.
Yeah.
So thank you all for being here. This will be on YouTube in a couple days if you want to watch it again and fine tune what you're doing. And of course, we will announce the winner here pretty soon once we pick the winner.
And thanks everybody. I can't wait to see what everybody paints and all the the cool ideas that come out of this class, and it's always awesome.
And we'll see you next week. Next week, we're going to do blending. Again, blending.
I'll probably add some cool stuff to the blending, because just blending's not enough.
Yeah, we need some cool stuff. So it'll be cool. Whatever it is, it's going to be cool.
But all about blending.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.